to me having my OnlyFans account. I had this subscriber almost since the beginning. He had spent around 2,000 Australian dollars, bought every single thing that I sent him. We chatted every day on there, and he had a very specific username that was not a automatically generated one or anything like that. And an account with the same username had viewed my TikTok profile when I could see who was viewing it at the time. So I had the exact same username, and it said "from your contacts." And my heart just sank into my stomach, and I was like, I don't have that many phone numbers in my phone. I know who this person is, and he has spent this much money on my account, seen everything. And I just sort of went into super detective mode, and I said, I need to find out who this is. I went through all of the contacts in my phone. I crossed out anybody who had a established TikTok account and crossed out the people that said invite to TikTok, and I was left with 6 names. It was a couple of guys from school, one girl from school, someone's mum, and my stepdad. And I had just thought, okay, it could be those guys, but I feel like they would have told me, like they always message me happy birthday. It's not going to be them. It's not going to be my girlfriend. It's not going to be this mother. It has to be my stepdad.
Wow.
So I went out on a limb and messaged the account on OnlyFans, and I said, I know who this is. And he responded saying, who? ? Babe, you don't know. And I then hit back pretty quickly, and I said, you need to tell her before my sister and I do. And with
her being your mum?
Yeah, being my mum. And within 2 minutes, I got a text message from my stepdad saying, Tay, you're free to talk.
Right, so is it ever acceptable for a stepfather to subscribe to his stepdaughter's OnlyFans account? Today, we're exploring a tale that challenges the boundaries of family ties and morality. A story of a woman whose stepfather not only subscribed to her OnlyFans account, but also generously donated over 2,000 Australian dollars. It's a situation that might leave you questioning not just the legality, but the inherent ethics involved. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into this shocking story and question the morality of the situation. Our story begins with a woman, a content creator on OnlyFans, who discovered a shocking truth. In a world where digital interactions have blurred the lines between public and private, a disturbing tale unfolded. The woman, whose identity will keep veiled for her privacy, was going about her usual routine, creating content for her OnlyFans subscribers, when she noticed something alarming. A subscriber had joined her platform, and this wasn't just any anonymous online user. This was someone she knew, someone she trusted, someone who should have been safeguarding her well-being rather than infringing upon her personal boundaries. It was her stepfather. As she delved deeper, she found that not only had her stepfather subscribed to her explicit content, but he had also generously donated to her. Over 2,000 Australian dollars to be precise. A sum that could have been used for many other purposes, was instead spent on accessing his stepdaughter's adult content. The realization sent a jolt of shock and disbelief through her, a chilling discovery that her stepfather was crossing lines that should never be crossed. Imagine the whirlwind of emotions that must have engulfed her. The betrayal, the embarrassment, the discomfort, all stemming from a person who was meant to provide a sense of security and familial love. Instead, he was the source of a deeply unsettling reality, a reality that would forever taint their relationship. This is not just about a man subscribing to an adult content platform, it's about a man, a stepfather, who chose to view his stepdaughter in a manner that is far from paternal. It's about him crossing the lines of decency and respect, disregarding the ethical boundaries that should exist in a family structure. But, let's not forget, what he did wasn't illegal. There was no law that he broke by subscribing to her OnlyFans content. But does legality always equate to morality? When we peel back the layers of this story, we find ourselves facing a disturbing gray area. This revelation, while legal, raises many unsettling questions about morality. The law may not condemn this act, but what about our moral compass? When we consider the scenario at hand, it's critical to highlight that technically, no laws have been broken. The stepfather, as a consenting adult, has willingly subscribed and financially contributed to his stepdaughter's adult content on OnlyFans. But just because it's legal, does that make it morally right? Our society is built upon a foundation of shared values and norms, and one of the most fundamental of these is the sanctity of family relationships. We expect certain boundaries to be respected within these relationships. A stepfather-stepdaughter relationship, for instance, should ideally be grounded in trust, respect, and mutual care, much like any parent-child bond. But when a stepfather crosses the line, subscribing to his stepdaughter's adult content, he breaches this trust, violating the expected norms and boundaries. In this case, the stepfather's actions blur the lines between what is technically legal and what is morally acceptable. It's a stark reminder that legality and morality don't always align. Indeed, the law is a guide, but it doesn't dictate our moral compass. Morality, on the other hand, is deeply personal and subjective, shaped by our values, beliefs, and societal norms. It's also worth noting that the stepfather's actions could have serious emotional and psychological implications for his stepdaughter. It's not just about the money he's donated or the adult content he's subscribed to, it's about the breach of trust, the invasion of privacy, and the potential for emotional distress that his actions have caused. So while the law may not condemn this behavior, our moral compass should. It's a situation that begs us to question the boundaries of what is acceptable, to challenge the status quo, and to reassess our societal norms. It's a call to action for us to reflect on our values and to hold ourselves and each other to a higher moral standard. This situation exposes a troubling gray area between what's legal and what's morally acceptable. A stepfather's role is to protect and guide, not to exploit. And yet, in this narrative, we find a glaring deviation from that expectation. The traditional role of a stepfather, or any parent for that matter, is to provide a safe and nurturing environment for their children. They are expected to guide them, to help them make good decisions, to teach them about the world, and to prepare them for adulthood. In this instance, however, we find a stepfather who not only endorses his stepdaughter's participation in a platform like OnlyFans, but also funds it. It's a scenario that breaches every traditional parental boundary. It's not about the platform itself or the profession, it's about the breach of a relationship that should be rooted in trust, respect, and appropriate boundaries. A stepfather, just like any other parent, should be a pillar of support, a beacon of guidance, and a source of encouragement. He should be someone his stepdaughter can turn to for advice, someone who can help her navigate through life's complexities. He should discourage actions that might harm her in the long run, and encourage those that build her character, resilience, and independence. Instead, this stepfather chose to support an endeavor that, while legal, is fraught with potential pitfalls. He compounded the issue by becoming a consumer of his stepdaughter's content on OnlyFans. It's a decision that not only blurs lines but obliterates them completely. It raises questions about the nature of their relationship and the appropriateness of his actions. This isn't just about a man and his stepdaughter, it's about the role of parents and the responsibilities they carry. It's about the expectations we have of them, and the trust we place in them. It's about the lines that should never be crossed, the boundaries that should never be breached. This stepfather's actions not only breach familial trust but also set a concerning precedent. They force us to question not just his actions but the society that allowed such a situation to occur. And they remind us that while legality and morality often go hand in hand, they are not always synonymous. This story is not just about one man's actions but a reflection on men and morality. You see, this incident isn't an isolated event, but rather a mirror held up to the face of our society, reflecting the distorted image of men's morality. It's a narrative that unfortunately adds to the negative portrayal of men, not because all men would act this way, but because the actions of one man can have such a profound impact on the perception of many. Men, like all individuals, come with a wide range of values, principles, and moral compasses. However, when a man, especially one in a position of trust and authority, steps over the line of morality, it can tarnish the image of men as a whole. This is where the real damage lies. This stepfather's actions are not just embarrassing, they're destructive. They erode the trust and respect that should form the foundation of a step-parent and stepchild relationship. They send out a message that men are willing to compromise their morals for fleeting gratification, a message that is both harmful and misleading. This incident also sheds light on the question of legality versus morality. Just because something is legal does not automatically make it moral. Legality is a set of rules governed by society, but morality is a personal compass, a guide that helps us distinguish right from wrong. It's what keeps our humanity intact. Men, like everyone else, have the capability and responsibility to uphold their own moral standards, regardless of what the law suggests. By blurring the lines between what's legal and what's moral, we risk losing sight of what truly matters: our values, our integrity, our humanity. This incident serves as a stark reminder that morality should not be compromised, regardless of legality. It's a call to all men to uphold their moral standards, to remember that their actions reflect not just on them, but on the perception of men as a whole. It's a call to remember that morality, once lost, is hard to regain. As we draw this discussion to a close, let's revisit the provocative question we started with. We've journeyed through a tale that, while not illegal, has certainly provoked some serious moral questions. A man, a stepfather no less, subscribed to his stepdaughter's OnlyFans and donated over 2,000 Australian dollars. Let's take a moment to recap the key points of our conversation. Legality and morality are two different spheres. While something may not be against the law, it may very well cross moral boundaries. This story is a prime example. The stepfather's actions, while not illegal, certainly raise questions about his role, his responsibilities, and the moral implications of his actions. We've also touched on the broader implications of this scenario, particularly for men. This situation is, in many ways, a reflection of the need for men to uphold standards of respect and decency, not just towards women in general, but especially towards those within their own families. In conclusion, the importance of morality in our everyday actions cannot be overstressed. Morality informs our decisions, shapes our interactions, and ultimately defines who we are as individuals. Crossing moral boundaries can have severe consequences, even when the law doesn't explicitly forbid such actions. Remember, just because something is legal doesn't always mean it's right. Our moral compass should always guide our actions, especially when it comes to family. Please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe with bell notifications, and share.